TV Inform program. You're hearing simultaneous interpretation from the Russian by John Glad. Good evening. Today, this evening, our television agency received an exclusive interview from Mr. Gorbachev with regard to his message sent to the participants in Alma-Ata of the meeting. This is an excerpt. Briefly, we're speaking here about the principles on which the Commonwealth should be structured, the institutions of the Commonwealth, to ensure that the coordinating mechanism functions successfusly. And finally, the question of continuity of law. This process has been started on a constitutional basis. The Supreme Soviet is determining its position. It is entrusting to its representatives the task of bringing this to the end. And once we have general agreement between all the participants, and the Supreme Soviets will have approved the process, then I think we will have to conduct a final session of the Supreme Soviet of the USSR. Because the task of the meeting will not be a matter of approving or not approving. That's a matter for the people to decide. That's all been approved within the individual republic, Supreme Soviets, but this decision will be made as to the cessation of the existence of the USSR, and a new stage will have ensued, a Commonwealth of Independent States. In his statement, the President said he would make compromises so as to ensure cooperation between republics. You'll be able to hear the full interview at the end of the news. Mircea Snegur, the President of Moldova, will participate in the meeting in Alma-Ata. We heard that this evening. It was told to a correspondent of TASS by well-informed sources. In less than 2 weeks, the Soviet Union, of which we are citizens, will cease to exist. So the question arises, can this be done on a legal and rational basis, and what will it be replaced with? This may be extremely complex. Where will all these millions of people find a new niche in life? Not to mention all the political and economic problems which may arise. It's possible that Mr. Yeltsin's prediction will be fulfilled, and we will have 10 independent states in the Commonwealth. Each will have its own interests and views of the Commonwealth. There was no talk earlier of a dismantling. Hence arose the word coup. Who can ensure that the new arrangement will not be overturned in its turn? Mr. Gorbachev attaches great importance to the continuity of law, and but the whole process is still not very clear. The process is being delayed. The West is in no hurry to recognize the founding members of the Commonwealth because of the undefined nature of the situation and our lack of experience. Where else could you hear about the Secretary of State of the United States asking who has the guarantee over the reliable functioning of the nuclear button? Perhaps we will end up destroying everybody. In Alma-Ata, will the representatives be able to achieve an agreement on legal questions so as to escape chaos, national conflicts, and competitions within the future Commonwealth? A sensational piece of news today. The Ministry Ministry of Foreign Affairs has been disbanded since the Soviet Union, since Russia has entered the Commonwealth. The decree was signed by Yeltsin and provides 1 month to create a new Russian ministry, which may employ some of the former members of the Soviet Ministry of Foreign Affairs. We will have to create certain coordinating mechanisms which will ensure the functioning of the political mechanism. By January 1st of '92, we have to make certain arrangements so as to ensure a unified protocol approach. Mr. Shevardnadze, who again became head of the agency on the 20th of November, has acted in that function for 27 days. We have learned that there have been no explanation for the most recent events. The initiative group, one more important piece of information. The President of Russia also signed an order to create a security agency which will be founded on the basis of the USSR Ministry of Internal Affairs, the Russian Ministry of Internal Affairs, the Inter-Republic Security Council, and the Russian Security Agency. So we have one more piece of information from a different area. The initiating group for the special session of the People's Deputies has declared that they have the required number of signatures to call a Congress. In the meantime, at a press conference in the Russian White House, there has been a decision to liquidate the property of the former Supreme Soviet of the USSR. Mr. Ryabov was delayed today, but the journalists were unanimous in their desire to learn the results of this commission. Nikolai Timofeyevich here is the chairman of the commission. Here the fate not only of the supreme legal body is being decided, and within the sacred territory of the Moscow Kremlin. So how long will the commission be acting? This is Mr. Ryabov, who is the chairman of the Republican Council of the Supreme Soviet of Russia. So we're looking at a period which has not been totally defined, but we're looking roughly at 2 months. Within that period, we have to totally transfer the property of the Soviet Supreme Soviet to the Russian Supreme Soviet. We have very many fine specialists in the Soviet Supreme Soviet, whom we will be happy to take into our own offices. The people's deputies from the Russian Republic, who has been elected on a territorial basis, will continue to serve as deputies, but not on the basis of law, as deputies of the Soviet Union, since the Soviet Union no longer has laws in effect in Russia, but on their basis as of deputies of Russia, precisely. Today, the President of the Russian Supreme Soviet, Konstantin Lubenchenko, declared that today the Supreme Soviet of the USSR, that the deputies who had their rights violated, the Russian Supreme Soviet had a personal search performed of members of the Soviet Supreme Soviet. Mr. Lubenchenko categorically denied that this act was performed at his instructions. He said this was a violation of the rights of the citizens and of the people's deputies of the USSR. Soon taxation laws will be adopted with regard to organizations, and that probably will take place. That took place during the first reading. Strange as it may seem, foreign investors will have the most advantageous taxation conditions. The ministers of finances say there are not going to be any limits on salaries, but we had a famous writer in the 19th century, Saltykov-Shchedrin, who said Russia Russia had crazy laws, but then nobody observed them anyway. Russia has boycotted Georgia, but at the meantime, the Ukraine has sent a message to Georgia announcing that the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Ukraine was to establish diplomatic relations with Georgia. That's from the press agency Iprenda. And now we have news from Krasnodar. This is the regional council headquarters, which is, as it were, under siege. Hundreds of Cossacks from the regions are picketing the area, the building, during the council meetings. The Kuban Cossacks wanted to demonstrate their solidarity. Their demands includes the demand that they be recognized as separate people, that they receive land as property, and that they be allowed to form military units.